back. We are back. You guys can see it. We got another withdrawal. I'm gonna dig into this week on what I did, where I think I went wrong, and obviously where I think I went right. But here's a payout. Don't want anybody to think it's fake. 7,400 across 5 accounts. So let's dig into it. We're just gonna jump straight into this video. So Monday I traded, Tuesday I traded, Thursday I traded. I didn't trade Friday. I did not trade Friday because Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, they were bad days for me. Yes, I won, but they were just bad days for me because I was breaking my rules. And when I get a win and I break my rules, it don't feel like a win. And I just don't trade on Wednesdays. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about Monday. Monday, we got in on this break of the candle off this demand right here. Stop loss was very small, and you can see we ended up hitting stop loss. Now, I took a risk on this one because normally when there's a demand setup, I would wait for the candle to close above the 13 EMA, but I didn't. I got in break of the candle, and I basically lost within like 12 minutes. So that was the first trade. This was the second trade I took that day. Second trade, I got in break of the candle. I had like a double bottom support right here. Now, one thing about this trade is when it went bullish right here, this bullish engulfing candle, it created a demand setup with a gap. So I was already kind of iffy about this trade because I knew that eventually it was going to want to fill in that gap. I just wanted to see if we can take out liquidity right here and it hit TP before it filled in that gap. And as you can see, that didn't happen. We ended up hitting stop loss, and that was a loser trade. Right now, this was the third trade I took this day. I normally don't take 3 trades a day, but I ended up taking 3 trades a day. I already came in on Monday with bad energy because I was dealing with something personal. And as you guys know, you should never bring your personal life into these charts because it will show. And as you can see, I started breaking rules. I took 3 trades. I took 3 trades a day, and I was only supposed to take 2. But you can see, we had this double bottom. I got in on the break of the candle, which was right here. I liked how it reacted off the double bottom, and I just held. But since we took these 2 losses already, I was already in drawdown, so I was only positive like 100 and something. I held for like a 1 and 2. And then after this happened, it ended up dropping. Now, here's how that trade looked on the 15-minute. This is why I liked it. 15-minute, it never broke the support. It was still in this demand right here, so that's why I took the trade. So those were wins. Now let's talk about Tuesday. This is Tuesday. Tuesday, it built like a little support right here. I liked how it was in this demand. It was a low probability demand, and it was a counter trend trade. So this was already risky, but I expected for price to reverse and go back up because as you can see, pre-market, it was already in a downtrend, right? So yes, I expected for price to pretty much reverse and go back up, but that didn't happen. So let's talk about it. I got in on this bullish candle right here. Same thing. It created a demand, right? And it just simply didn't want to reverse at that time. So I was on the wrong side of price. I ended up closing early right here, but yeah, that was a loss. That was simply just a loss. And here was the second trade for that day. I got in on this 1 hour demand. There was a 1 hour demand, and there was also a 15-minute demand. I liked how I rejected the 15-minute and the 1 hour demand, so I got in break of the candle, stop loss under, 200 was under, and the 13 EMA crossed, and I just held it for I think it was like a 1 to 1.5 to cover up that loss. This was a good trade. I didn't break my rules this day. This was just a good trade. So let's move on to the next trade. I didn't trade on Wednesday. This is Thursday. Now this trade was a good trade. You can see it had this resistance. It rejected out of the supply up here, and it had a 15-minute supply. So I got in break of the candle right there. Right, there was a small little resistance right there on the 1 minute, and it hit 1 to 1. I did not take profit at 1 to 1. I didn't. I was trying to aim for a 1 to 2 to maximize the win. It ended up reversing, going back up, and hitting my break even. So I ended up closing out right here because I didn't like this 5-minute bullish candle. I ended up closing out right here. It hit break even, and then it shot down for like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. This trade was frustrating. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just because I got taken out, and then it ended up going the direction that I wanted it to go. So I was pretty upset about this trade, but we ended up moving on. Now, this trade right here, I liked how it kept building like the support down here. It just kept wicking the support. So I ended up getting in break of the candle. All the EMAs were under, same thing. There was a 15-minute supply right here, so I knew this was risky. If I can go back, I wouldn't have took this because the 15-minute supply was playing its part. And I ended up closing out here, and we ended up losing that trade. So I ended up taking a third trade. Yes, I took a third trade. This is what I mean by I was breaking my rules all week. This trade ended up hitting. It was no 1-on-1. It ended up rejecting. I was looking at the 1 minute and I didn't like how the 1 minute looked, but it was coming out of a 15-minute supply. So I got in literally right here, and then I held it for a little bit, but it wasn't a 1-to-1 trade. I just closed out early and I called it a day because I already knew that I was already breaking my rules. So since I was breaking my rules, I just closed the trade out right there. I did get in a little bit aggressive, and we ended up profiting from that trade. So after that, I just decided that I'm not gonna trade on Friday for this week because I was just breaking my rules, man, and it didn't feel good. It did not feel good. But we ended up profiting $1,500 for that week. We ended up taking that withdrawal, and we ended up making $16,500 in 9 days. But yeah, I took this day off. So now I'm ready for June. You know, I'm ready to follow these rules and have another profitable month. And simple. Let's just get straight to it. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys at the end of next week. Peace out.